everybody. Welcome to our very first episode of the Real Estate Collective, where we are sharing insights with some of the real estate leaders, basically some of the great minds in our industry and in our local market. And so today I am thrilled and honored and excited to bring to you Mr. Bret Weinstein. So Bret is the founder and CEO of BSW Real Estate here in Denver. He is an amazing guy. His bio is like forever long, but I will give you a couple nuggets. He is ranked as the one of the top 1% of Colorado's highest producing real estate agents. He's completed over 400 transactions since he started in the business in 2012, I believe. He was the Denver Metro Association of Realtors Rookie of the Year in 2013. He's been on the Denver Business Journal's 40 Under 40. Not only that, but this man is an incredible human. He's a great father, husband, and I happen to know him and think he's just an amazing guy. So Bret, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you. I hated that so much. I don't like hearing anything. I don't take compliments well. You're saying they're great real estate leaders, and then I'm just like, wow, you started with me, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you are so welcome. Sorry if that was painful, but it was so worth it because it's all true. You're awesome.
I cringe. I don't know. It's one of my things. I don't like hearing it. I'll go in the other room when people are saying nice things about me. I don't
know. No. Okay, well, we'll move off that then. And I want to hear a little bit more about your backstory. So first, just tell us a little bit about what drew you to real estate. How'd you wind up here?
Absolutely. It's an interesting story. So I worked at Jones International University. It was a for-profit online education school. And so what happened was we sold degrees to people. And so I worked as an admissions counselor, as the director of admissions and senior manager of financial aid. I was all over that. And while I was there, I thought that I was making this huge difference. And lo and behold, as I ended up leaving, unfortunately, what I recognized was an online education, and this was almost 10 years ago, just didn't get you all that far. And, when I left, I stopped drinking the Kool-Aid and although there was great things about it, I felt not as good. It didn't feel as wholesome as while I was there. And I recognized that some of the things like that we were selling didn't get people to where they wanted to go. And so I spoke to my father about that. And I said, I really want to do something tangible, something real. If I'm going to do something, I want to make an impact. He said, why not houses? And I said, okay. And that's how I got into real estate. And that was it. I just wanted to make a tangible difference where it was something that I could touch, feel, and make sure that it was legitimate and real. And that's where we are.
And that's kind of what got you into it.
Yeah.
Well, and I know it's been an evolution, and in working with you, I know one of your mission, or a really strong mission of BSW Real Estate, is to just reshape real estate. And so I'm curious if you can share a little bit more about what that means to you and why you feel that's so important.
Sure. I hate to explain it because sometimes it sounds like I'm disparaging other people, and that's certainly not the goal here. Our bar is just very, very low. It's less than 200 hours to get your real estate license. You pass the test and congratulations, you're here. For an appraiser, it's over 1,000 hours. For most career paths that work in transactions or things that are this large, there's a ton of studying, there's a ton of education, there's a ton of those pieces. And for us, it just doesn't feel like there's all that much to get us in. And there is continuing education, but this industry is viewed as used car salesmen, and not to disparage used car salesmen either, but that it's viewed as the sales job, when as if I would walk through a home with somebody and say, hey, this one's amazing for you, whether it is or isn't, and convince them to buy a home. And that's the impression that the general public has. We talk about how there's this big difference between a realtor and a real estate agent, but the general public doesn't know that there's a difference. They refer to everyone as a realtor. And so what we're really trying to do is make people great at what they do. This isn't a sales job. This is a concierge job. This is something where we should be working with people to really understand what they're looking for and how to best help them, how to best put them into a great position. This is an asset where, this year is crazy as it could possibly be, but we've seen 13% appreciation. We've seen people get $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 over the course of a year of appreciation. That's basically like having another full-time working adult in your household with you just by living there. And yet we don't take it seriously enough. And it's really important to me that education comes first. that if we're going to sell, the only thing that our agents should be selling is themselves and their knowledge and their expertise, but not a house, never a house. It shouldn't be treated as a sales job. It shouldn't be about the commission, because we are changing and making dramatic impacts to people's lives. And so that's why I founded this brokerage. Was I feel like there's a lot of really great agents out there. I hadn't found a brokerage that hyper focus on making people just be of value, focus on the education, not just about the sales piece, but on so much more. And so now we have this great family type atmosphere with 40 plus agents here as we continue to grow, and it's seemingly building something special in this industry. And my goal is to build it as large as I can to make an impact.
I think that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, and let's talk a little bit about the 2020, like you said. I mean, this, I think being customer centric and helping your agents really, be the kind of level that this industry requires now, with the tech companies coming in and
Absolutely.
being a big competition. What are some of the things with COVID and just in like the last 6 months, what are some of the things that you have seen shift in this business, maybe for positive or negative? And, what are your thoughts kind of on what this could look like moving forward?
Sure. You'd think that it would be this huge technology piece comes in, and there really is a ton of technology, and we say that it's disruptors, but I think there's a lot of technology that's actually improving our industry. I think places like Zillow, like Redfin, some of these big, Open Door, Purple Bricks, all these companies that are coming in, I actually think it's good for our industry. I think our customer and consumer should have as many different options to be able to figure out what to do, especially in times like COVID. But what we've seen is after this 2-month pause where we basically shut down for 2 months for March and April, as we headed into May, June, July, almost everybody that I know is having these career years where everyone's buying and selling and all these things. And it's made that in-person advice, I think, more important than it's ever been, because there's so many more things, there's so much more going on. It's interesting that it makes the person-to-person interaction that much more important rather than the technology side coming in. And it very well may change that in 5 years, 3 years, a year, we walk through houses with virtual reality, goggles or something like that. But for right now, people really want to have someone walk through who's a professional, who understands what's going on, who's wearing the gloves, who's wearing the mask, who's there to take care of them, who understands that it's not just about the house, it's not just their financial future, but it's their actual personal health and safety. Yeah. And it's scary and it's amazing to see kind of where real estate has gone over this last little bit. But, we're heading into uncharted waters right now. Our DMAR market stats came out. Our market right now has about 5,400 homes on it. Last year, we had 9,400 homes. The lowest that we've ever had is around 7,400 homes. We're actually 2,000 homes less on our market right now than we've ever had in August. And we're heading towards the time when our market slows down with listings. We could realistically hit December and January with less than 3,000 listings. And that's the entire Denver metro market. And so, when that kind of thing happens, it's so much more important to be super knowledgeable, to use technology, to be great at what you do, to use any one of those tools, because when there's 2,000 homes, if you're working with a buyer, there's nothing there. So you have to figure out ways outside the box to be able to get people to where they want to go, while keeping it safe, making sure that their health is of utmost importance, et cetera. But it's a really interesting year right now. And I think that was a long ass winded answer. And I'm sorry I used profanity. We can beep that out. But
keep it.
Yeah, but I tangented. So, but hopefully I hit on it at some point.
No, that was fabulous. And I appreciate it, because I just think you're right. We're in unprecedented times. And I love that that's your take, is like, there's technology, but this is the time when people need to go to the experts that they trust. Because I'm 100% agreement. So what are some of the resources that have kind of helped you, or might you recommend to other agents who are, who need those resources?
I think that there's a ton of resources in there. When I started in real estate, one of the things was that I was taught to be reliant on my brokerage for education. And I just don't think that that's as realistic. I think that the brokerage is really, really important. But there's that piece of finding out where your areas of opportunity are and then tackling those areas. RE Colorado offers a ton of really great classes. Our CTM, our contracts contract software offers a lot of really great classes. WFG title offers a ton of really great classes, but there's so many different places to go. It's one of those things where I can point to a lot of different directions, but when it's said and done, there's so much help all around. It's just that if you get hyper focused that it's only in one place, I think that's where the issues are. So it really becomes imperative that people, if I'm bad with inspections, if I don't understand houses, there's a ton of different places that you can go to learn about houses. Frankly, I learned how to fix it. I'm useless. I'm really good at breaking stuff. I'm not good at fixing things, but I figured out how to fix our garbage disposal. One of my buddies is a plumber, and I used some YouTube. Like there's technology everywhere. There's all these things everywhere, and like figuring out where can I improve? What kind of things can I do? And then hyper seeking it out. But finding mentors, finding people to go to that'll point you into a lot of different directions. But if I ever said, hey, you want to get great in real estate, just call me and I'm your only answer, then I'd be lying. I think there's a million different places, and it just is about figuring out what makes sense for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, we'll wrap it up soon, but I wanted to ask you one final question and then some fun like rapid fire things so we can all get to know you a little bit more. So one of the things that you know about me is I'm into nerd nuggets. I have little nerd nuggets, which are little tactical tips that people can use. So you kind of gave us some really great nerd nuggets in the previous question, but I was just going to ask if you could just think of like one nerd nugget, one little piece of advice or information that has helped you along the way, what might you share with someone else?
One piece of advice. I mean, I think the thing with this industry is that it is so isolating and it becomes so hard, and it's so based on you that I think that one of the biggest pieces is I always set a rule when I was starting out in this industry of 2 hours. I gave myself a 2-hour break on any given day. And after that 2 hours, I had to go learn. On that 2 hours, I had to call a client. After those 2 hours, I had to figure out kind of what to go. And that's built into today where I have a schedule that's broken out. And I think that it can be applicable to real estate, but it can be applicable to anything. One of our biggest issues is that we use our phone. If I ask most people, when do you check your email? Do you have a specific time that you check your email? The answer is starting at 7 a.m., ends at 9 p.m. When you stop texting, starts at 7 a.m., when you stop answering calls, and it's a whole day. And so trying to figure out how can I hyper-focus on what's the most important thing during the most important times. So for me, I'll check my emails. I can't check my email at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm up at 6, I've got kids. So my email starts around 8 o'clock or 8:30, depending on the day after we do some accountability calls. And then I do an hour of email, then I do an hour of this, and then I do an hour of that. But it's that piece of really building in a schedule and really hyper-focusing yourself into how can I make sure that I am of maximum impact for myself, for my clients? How can I make sure that I'm super focused? I guess that's it. Yeah. Create a schedule.
Focused, and have the discipline to like follow it. That's the challenge sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. And forgive yourself when you blow it. It's okay. Yeah. I make a pledge once every month to not drink, right? I'm not going to drink for the next 2 weeks. I got a hangover. It was too much. It was silly. A week and a half later, my buddy calls and says, you want to get a beer? And I say, absolutely. It's okay. It's a beer. Yeah. Like, you got to be able to forgive yourself. Not that I just came off as an alcoholic on this. That I just want to clarify. I was using that as a metaphor and an example. I'm not an alcoholic. Let's just
see. And you're a good friend. You're like,
yeah, I'm just here to support you.
We haven't seen you in so long. Yeah. Whatever you need, buddy.
I want to be, there with them.
No, I love it. That's great. So that takes me into the rapid fire questions. Just some little fun things. I saw that you're a beer lover, or a beer taster. What's your favorite beer?
Really depends. This summer, rapid fire. I'm really bad at answering things quickly. I'm so sorry. Let me try that.
Take all the time you want, Bret. I can talk about beer and wine too.
God, it's so bad. No, but so right now I took up golf. I never golfed before. And during COVID, that's one of the things that you could do. So I've started golfing over the last 4 months. And so I've really taken to seltzers because out there on 90-degree days, I haven't really loved the harder beers. But I like an IPA. It just depends on, I like a lot of the Colorado stuff. I like to go to the breweries. I feel like I should be giving specific answers, but I'm giving nothing right now. I went to Vail and had a sake. It was like a sake IPA mix, and it was phenomenal. and it was a beer.
Okay.
I had no idea what it was, but it was really good, and it was last week. Evidently, I had
Sake
too many of
IPA
them, so
mix.
here we are.
So here we are. I like it. Well, is Vail your favorite place to ski, or what would
Um,
be?
I think if you go on a Tuesday, I think if we use Tuesday as the day, Vail is everybody's favorite place to ski. I think on a
Sure.
Saturday or Sunday, maybe Keystone because of those longer runs, and sometimes it's not as busy. I like Eight Basin. Um, I mean, Copper is always great. I like those bigger mountains with long runs. I don't like the
Hmm.
ones where it feels like do a run for 5 minutes and then you're back at the
The
chairlift
long
just
lift
because
line.
yeah, like I don't want to spend half my day on the lines. I want to be on the mountain. So
Totally. I love
I
it.
love
And
Vail.
final,
Yes.
favorite Colorado season?
I mean, today is all four of them, so I don't have a good answer. We just dropped 60 degrees
Yeah.
overnight. I like fall. I'm a really big fall fan.
I'm with you, Brett. And to Brett's point, we basically skipped fall. We went from
We
91
did.
degrees to winter today.
Yeah.
So it's dark. It's like 3 p.m. So we love
I'm just
Colorado.
confused at this point. Yeah, it's great though.
It's great. We love it though. Move
Love
here.
it.
Use
Love it.
VSW.
100%. Absolutely. Come on.
Yes. Awesome. Brett, thank you so much for your time. This has been a lot of
Of
fun.
course.
Anything else you want to say, or shall we close her down?
No, I just want to let you know I think that you're fantastic, and I really appreciate you having me on here. And I'm sorry for all the editing that's going to have to happen because I can't give a short answer. But I just think this is going to be a great series, and I'm really excited to be able to watch it. Anyone except for this one, I will happily dive into and watch. And so thanks for letting me be your first guest. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.